What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. I promised you in a previous video where I showed you the top fighter and the top archer that I would bring you a video with a much larger list of who is the top fighters and who are the top archers. And I'm going to split this into 3 different videos. So in this video, I'm going to show you the top fighters. Now these are going to be in categories because there are so many Thralls that are essentially a carbon copy of another Thrall. So I've split them up into categories, and I'm going to show you the top 3 categories based on their melee damage modifier. These guys are going to have the highest melee damage modifier in the game. The next video will be archers, and they will have the highest ranged damage modifiers in the game. And then in the third video, I'm going to break down the Thralls that have the highest HP gain per point in vitality. And I'm going to do this throughout this next week. So the Thrall that has the highest melee damage modifier in the game is the Cimmerian Berserker and his counterpart, the Accursed Berserker over on the Isle of Sipta. Their melee damage modifier is 2.24. This takes the #1 spot for melee damage modifiers. Now on top of having the highest melee damage modifier in the game, their ranged modifier isn't too bad either, with a 2.08 for a ranged damage modifier. They start out with 15 in strength, 0 in agility, 30 in vitality, and 0 in grit. Their total health pool when you place them is 2,549. And these are slow levelers, so it's going to take some time to get them leveled up to 20. So our next category of Thralls has a 2.236 damage modifier, and this category is actually split into 2 different segments based on how many hit points they gain per point in vitality. But all of the Thralls on this list have a 2.236 damage modifier. And as you guessed it, it is Dalinsia Snowhunter and Dalinsia the Accursed. But there's a much larger list that goes along with this. Before I show you guys the list, I want to show you the rest of the stats that this category has. So they start out with 15 in strength, 0 agility, 30 vitality, and 0 grit. And their starting hit points is 2,745. And the list for these Thralls is actually quite large, but as you'll notice, it's only Dalinsia Snowhunter and the Stormsick Warrior in the Exiled Lands. The rest of these Thralls happen to be on the Isle of Sipta. Most of them are the Beastmasters or the Accursed of some sort. And you can see that list on the screen right now, but I will have the list in the description of this video as well so that you can take a look at that. And this category of Thralls gains 38.3 hit points per point leveled in vitality. And they are all slow levelers except for the Cultist Veteran. Now that is only on the Isle of Sipta, and in order to get that Thrall, you will have to participate in a surge. The other thing that separates the Cultist Veteran here is their starting hit points coming in at only 1,979. However, all the rest of the stats are the same, which is why I included them in this category. Now I told you I was going to split this into 2 different categories. These guys also have a 2.236 melee damage modifier. However, they gain less hit points per point in vitality. And these guys all come from the Volcano. So we have Daicas the Sharp, Kisthis Fleshtearer, Spinas the Marauder, and then the last is Erii the Ravager. They all start out with 15 in strength, 2 in agility, 10 in vitality, and 3 in grit. Their starting hit points is 1,838, and they gain 24.27 hit points per point in vitality. Now the ranged damage modifier for all the Thralls in the second tier is 2.064. Now this list of Thralls would technically be in the next category. However, I'm questioning whether you can get these Thralls in the current state of the game because these particular Thralls would be obtained through the Purge, and with the changes to the Purge in the Age of War, I'm not 100% sure that you can get any one of these. So if you have an Aesir Warrior, a Colvric the Blade, or a Warrior of Jebelsog, they have a 2.08 melee damage modifier, and they gain 35.57 hit points per point in vitality. Something else that's interesting about these specific Thralls is that the Warrior of Jebelsog, there are a couple of them that have a 2.88 ranged damage modifier, where the rest of these Thralls only have a 1.92 ranged damage modifier. And I'm virtually going to exclude them from the list and move to the next section because I know that these next set of Thralls that I show you actually spawn in game. Our last group of Thralls today all shares the 2.08 melee damage modifier. Now I think these Thralls are probably going to surprise you, as it surprised me that they all had this high of a melee damage modifier. And honestly, I don't want to see this change. I want to see this stay in the game going forward, but I have a feeling that Funcom may disagree with me. Now the great thing about this group of Thralls is that they have guaranteed spawns around the exiled lands, and also, if I'm remembering correctly, they have guaranteed spawns on the Isle of Sipta. If it's not guaranteed on the Isle of Sipta, they definitely at least have a location where they can spawn over there. Jumping right into this, we have Nos the Murderer, Eric the Slayer, Syria the Mad, Ulrich the Beast, Anika of Samaria, Tessa the Blade, Arnos of Samaria, Kurth One Blow, Anna the Reaver, and Nuris Backstabber. And all of these guys have a guaranteed spawn location in the exiled lands. On top of the Thralls that I just showed you, Frigga Falsehope and Deirdre Deathbringer are also included in this list. Now they start out with 0 in strength, 0 in agility, 15 in vitality, and 0 in grit. Their starting hit points is 605. Their ranged damage modifier is 1.92, and they gain 27.38 hit points per point in vitality. And the nice thing about these Thralls is they are all fast levelers. Now they are going to turn out to be a bit glass cannon in the end, but I feel like having a glass cannon option in Conan Exiles is a good thing. Now normally when I upload these videos, I get a lot of comments about people's favorite Thrall and asking why they weren't in the list. Now the reason why your favorite Thrall wasn't in this list is because they didn't have one of the top 3 melee damage modifiers, because this video is all about that melee damage modifier. The next video will be all about the ranged damage modifier, and the last video that I'll upload will be all about hit points gained per point in vitality. So watch for those videos coming out very soon. Don't forget to whack the like button on your way out, and let me know in the comment section below what's your favorite Thrall and why. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. If you're looking for more epic Conan Exiles videos, check out the video on the screen right now and tell me which video sent you over there.